concluded. RLUSD goes live. With native AMM and an EVM sidechain now live, is XRPL entering a new narrative? Over the past year, XRP is roughly plus 449%. So have XRP's fundamentals fully reversed? Was this rally a sentiment-driven short-term re-rating? Where exactly is XRPL's moat? And can that translate into XRP's long-term pricing? In this episode, we'll start by breaking down who does what at the tech layer, then see where this ancient blue chip can actually find real-world adoption. Hi everyone, I'm TQ and this is TQ 2050. This video is for research and learning only, not investment advice. XRPL dates back to 2011, founded by David Schwartz and two co-founders as a no-mining, payment-focused public chain. So what does a no-mining payment chain actually mean, and how is that different from the Ethereum you know? Today we'll talk about XRPL, Ethereum, and Ethereum Layer 2s, how they differ and where each one fits. A no-mining payment chain doesn't rely on proof-of-work POW to mine blocks, and typically doesn't pay miners a block subsidy. XRPL isn't an everyone trusts everyone Byzantine model. Instead, each node converges quickly based on its own UNL, its trusted node list. In plain terms, think of the shops in a mall. Each shop drops its card payment transactions into a to-be-cleared basket. Not every shop has to approve every transaction. Each one reconciles with shops it trusts. Every few seconds, they raise hands to vote, lock those entries in, and once the ledger closes, it counts. It's fast, low effort, and it doesn't need miners to produce blocks. That's essentially RPCA on XRPL. Reach consensus on a batch of transactions in seconds, then close the ledger. Finality in one shot, with rollbacks almost never happening in practice. The key is speed, second-level finality, plus institutional cost savings, which is great for remittances. Compared with Bitcoin-style POW chains, there are no miners, no hash rate race, and no block rewards. Participants sign and vote which batch is valid, then close the ledger. Unlike Ethereum-style POS chains, there's no official trust list or admissions committee. If you meet the rules, lock up stake, and keep your node online, you can join as a validator. The system doesn't pre-assign block producers. Validators take turns in a randomized way. Roughly every 12 seconds, one validator proposes a block and a large set of others attest to it. The more attestations, the more stable the block. There are incentives and penalties. Good performance earns rewards, malicious behavior gets punished. Stay online and vote honestly to earn. Double spend, misvote, or go offline too long, and you'll be slashed. Staking makes wrongdoing expensive. So XRPL is like a trusted circle clearing platform that stamps transactions fast, quick, decisive settlement built for payments. Ethereum, by contrast, is a general-purpose settlement layer with strong programmability and openness. To buy stronger security and decentralization guarantees, its strict finality is slower than XRPL's. On top of that, Ethereum Layer 2s have already boosted performance a lot on this front. In my view, the rise of Ethereum L2s is an amplifier for XRPL, extending XRPL's settlement edge and magnifying its impact. Why? Let's compare two things, programmability and composability, and finality. First, programmability and composability. We'll start with a quick summary, then dig in. Ecosystem is the Lego-style stacking of apps and tooling on top of a protocol. What's less familiar is expressiveness, how much an execution environment can state business rules directly in code and enforce them on chain. Here's a simple analogy. With small, generic Lego bricks, you get lots of flexibility, but you need more pieces and audits get complex. With bigger, business semantic bricks, one block replaces several. You start faster and it's stable, but there's less customizability and a more preset path. From day one, XRPL set its goal to clear money fast and reliably, not to make everything programmable on-chain. The product focuses on payment clearing, native payment, cross-currency, IOU paths, and built-in DEX AM as payment primitives. But it lacks a general-purpose VM for Turing-complete contracts and discourages complex business logic on-chain. XRPL chooses to keep most complexity off-chain or on sidechains, keeping the main ledger simple, verifiable, and auditable. By sacrificing generality, XRPL gains deterministics for seconds-level finality, low fees, and high stability. The trade-off is weaker general-purpose programmability. Building a big financial Lego world is harder. Given that, XRPL can shore up expressiveness by working with Ethereum ZK L2s. Let the L2 handle the business layer, complex logic, DeFi, RWA, while XRPL does what it's best at, fast, irreversible settlement. Ripple has defined RLUSD as a natively issued USD stablecoin on both XRPL and Ethereum, already integrated into Ripple Payments' settlement stack. Recent coverage keeps stressing dual chain issuance. The goal, I think, is account wallet crediting and DeFi RWA on the Ethereum L2 side, while XRPL handles cash payout, offline release, and other fast settlement flows. Because XRPL's direct users are mainly institutions and infrastructure providers, we map potential applications by participant type. Run well, this dual-track setup can be win-win, benefiting the XRPL network and the Ethereum ecosystem at the same time. If XRPL wants to expand its influence, the most practical path is a dual-track collaboration with Ethereum L2s. XRPL delivers the final hammer of irreversible settlement. Ethereum L2s handle the do more assets and applications. Now, finality. When a transaction is considered irreversible, under what conditions it could be overturned, how long you wait, and who bears the cost. XRPL reaches finality in a few seconds. Once a transaction passes the UNL vote, it takes effect immediately and is essentially irreversible, like getting an instant stamp at the cashier. The bill is locked. Ethereum L2s can give you a receipt within seconds, but finality still waits on L1. For ZK rollups, e.g. Starknet, ZK Sync, Scroll, time to L1 depends on proof generation and batch posting, typically minutes to tens of minutes. For OP rollups, Optimism, Arbitrum, L1 irreversibility only comes after the challenge window, usually 7 days. It's like online shopping. You get a temporary receipt, but fulfillment waits until the central warehouse books it in. On Ethereum L1, a new block comes every 12 seconds, but near irreversibility waits for most stakers to finalize a checkpoint, roughly 12 to 13 minutes in practice. Before that, a small reorg is still possible. How does this map to real life? Take XRPL first, immediate effect with near irreversibility. That's like an ATM cash out. Once cash is dispensed, finality is off-chain and you can't roll it back. Dispensing within those few verified seconds is safest. Same for instant release of high-value goods like gold, jewelry, or diamonds. Merchants should release only after an irreversible credit receipt. With XRPL's high threshold, 80%, and seconds level closing, rollbacks almost never happen. Perfect for release equals non-recoverable loss scenarios. For ZK stacks, users see accepted within seconds, but true irreversibility takes minutes to tens of minutes. A great fit, in my view, is account wallet crediting. Example, funds sent on-chain to a bank account. The on-chain receipt soft confirms in seconds, so the user sees the money. The bank then waits those few tens of minutes for the ZK batch to verify on L1, and during that window can enforce in-platform use or spending limits to reduce risk. That's why you sometimes see the balance, but can't withdraw immediately. Why not just use XRP tech, see it and withdraw right away? From a user's standpoint, we'd love that. And our numbers suggest that under reasonable assumptions, 300 million transactions a year imply a theoretical risk cost of only $30,000, which is within institutional tolerance. But from a bank's perspective, keeping funds in their pool and cross-selling investment products is where the profit is. That's composability. Picking XRPL can mean giving up some composability. Picking a ZK stack taps Ethereum's ecosystem dividends. Think movie tickets. You first get a temporary pass, then it auto-upgrades to a final ticket minutes later. As long as it's finalized before scanning, you're fine. Similarly, for subscription digital goods, courses, memberships, API credits, orders acknowledge instantly, but activation can wait until the proof hits L1. The UX hit is tiny, while fraud rollback risk drops a lot. Another case, payroll. Once the batch finalizes, it's done. Fault tolerance matters more than instant. So ZK stacks suit online services, in-platform funds, B2B settlement, and compliance audit trails. Not on-the-spot irreversibility, but strong assurances soon after. You keep the snappy feel and shortly get L1 grade finality. OP stacks have a /7-day confirmation period, very similar to online shopping payouts. Funds released to the seller only after delivery or once the 7-day return window passes to prevent chargebacks. Likewise for checks, ACH, and some exchange fiat deposits, holds of 2 to 7 business days to prevent counterfeits or illicit funds clawback. Hotels, car rentals, ride sharing use pre-authorizations/holds. Freeze a limit now, auto-release, or settle a few days later, handling damages or extra charges. At this point, XRPL's market positioning is clear. With seconds level deterministic finality, it serves cash payout and offline release scenarios with strong SLAs, while ETH L2 provides general purpose orchestration and a rich asset ecosystem. A dual track division of labor. Based on this, in the next episode, we'll use data and scenarios to quantify the serviceable volume and, under token economy constraints, explain why strong network usage a strong token pass-through, giving reproducible range estimates and key sensitivities. That's it for today. I'm TQ. See you next time.